So at the beginning of this journey, which seems so long ago, what was it, 8 days ago now? 9 days ago? I can't remember whether I said this or not, but the instructions were go to Dover, cross the channel, turn left at Calais and keep driving until I see reindeer. Well, just there are the first reindeer that I've spotted in Sweden, and I'm what, 200 odd kilometres away. Oh, hello, look at that. So here we are on the road again. Actually got the heater on. It's a little bit chilly this morning. But yeah, we're on the road again to Stockholm. I don't know if you can see over there, that's the lake that I was. Part's not too far from. I haven't been down to the lake. Just wanted to get going. I think I'm going to see a lot of lakes on this particular trip, so I'm not too worried if I've missed one. This is where you tell me that, oh, the best lake in Sweden is the one that you drove past, Robert. You should have seen that one. It's UNESCO heritage, everything about it is the most amazing place. How foolish of you. It's Sweden's Lake Windermere. Anyway, we're on this quiet road. I've just left the park up for the night where there was a memorial stone for Cliff Burton, the legend that was, and it's been beautiful. It's just such a peaceful night. A couple of beers, a bit of reading. Excuse me. It was special to be able to drive this stretch of road, the road where unfortunately Cliff Burton passed away. Anyway, we have 276 miles to run today, so it's got me getting in for, one says 14:23, the other one says 14:43. It's going to be over 4 hours. I'm just going to take my time. I'm not in any rush. I've got something lined up for this evening, all specific and sad. Not sad like Christ sad, just sad as in, you know, I'm a sad loser. Sad.
Right, then turn right.
Anyway, so we're about to get back onto the roads here are just amazing, and it's incredible to think that, you know, this country is covered in snow for quite a chunk of the year and everything, and yet cars, traffic still manage to drive. They still manage, and look, and these roads are in pristine condition. And this country's enormous, much bigger than the UK. Our roads are shocking, but this is like, it's like velvet. So here we are again, back on the E4. So yeah, we're not in any rush today. We'll go for a bit, might stop up the road and see if I can find somewhere to stop for coffee, maybe a bit of breakfast. It is Sunday, so I don't know whether stuff will be open or not. mean, this road is just, again, it's just empty. It's just brilliant. Ash, you were right. Welcome to heaven. This really is quite a special place, mate. You lucky so-and-so. Sometimes you get these really long, straight sections, which, you know, almost like driving down the runway. And in some cases, that's exactly what they are. Sweden, I think the same in Finland, they do have certain sections of the highway system long enough and straight enough that they can land military aircraft on them, and they use them as runways. So now and then you'll see like these, what looks like big kind of concrete areas, which I guess could be like a dispersal area where they can put like a fuel tanker and a little control centre or something like that. Crew can rock up in their trucks. Because you don't get any pylons or anything down the middle. I mean, here, yes, look, if you can see, there's like pylons of street lights. But once you're out there, there's nothing like that at all. So I think the military Air Force, the Swedish Air Force rather, can basically use any sections or particular sections of the highway just to land a fighter jet and refuel it. Have not. Brilliant idea. Very, very good idea. Right. Where is this fuel station? 500 meters. It's a Circle K. Let's see what that's got to offer. So, all filled up. £1,000 worth of fuel. It's best not really to think about how much that cost. Anyway, filled up and got myself a cafe latte. Oh look, there's a troll. Presume it's a troll. Yeah, got myself a cafe latte and a wee little cheeky hot dog and some crispy things, kind of like, I guess they're like Cheetos or something like that. So yeah, we're back on the road again. Weather's not as nice today as it has been. It's sort of quite overcast today, grey, and a little bit of a chill. But yeah, this is the motorway now coming out of Jönköping. There's this very large lake. If I zoom out, excuse me, if I zoom out on Maps Me, you can see there, I don't know if you can see that, but it's a big lake, and we're going to kind of go traverse up halfway up the right hand side of it. But it looks big. I don't think this is the biggest. I mean, looking at it on Maps Me, it looks like it's, I don't know, looking at the size, there's another lake over there which seems to be twice the size, almost like a sea. But this one is probably, I don't know, Could be wrong, but it looks like it might be the second largest of the lakes in Sweden. But yeah, who knows? It's very pretty. You can see a break in the sky over there, like low down, as if the sun is trying to creep in. But this is a big lake. I would imagine that gets quite rough out there. And I don't know whether that lake would freeze over or not in winter, because that looks like a very large body of water to freeze over. But hey, write it down in the comments, you know, let's have a conversation. But yeah, it's nice. It's nice to have a bit of interaction with some Swedish people. Of course, everyone speaks English here. You know, I feel really bad sometimes. You know, I think to myself, God, I really don't know any Swedish apart from tack. I don't know, is hejdå a phrase? I really don't know. And I feel really bad. But then again, I have travelled through France, Belgium, the Netherlands, Germany, Denmark, and now Sweden. 6 countries. And out of those 6 countries, I've got a smattering of French that will get me by, and a couple of words in Dutch, some smattering of German. You know, 3 out of 6 ain't bad, I suppose. At least for trying anyway. And hey, if this country was Spain, no hay un problema, because then I would just be chatting away fluently in Spanish. Hey, maybe one day we'll do a trip and you'll get to see me use my Spanish tongue, not Italian. Fuckers out there, you know you are. Anyway, yeah, there's definitely a break in the sky. Look into the future, into the horizon over there. Look, I can see a little break, a bit of blueness going on. That break in the sky, blue sky, sunshine. The only tune that's going through my head starts a little bit like this: ding 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 ding, jing 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 jing. Sun is shining in the sky. You know the one. I got that record bought for me, the E11 Greatest Hits, for a Christmas. My mum bought it for me, and that was one of the first LPs that I ever owned. Still got it somewhere in storage. And then I think the first album that I bought for myself with some pocket money was Aha, Hunting High and Low. is kind of apt for, well, I know they're not Swedish, they're Norwegian, but you know, I'm not going to say it's the one and the same because I know they're very different countries from each other. I'll get a lot of hate if I was to say that they're similar in any kind of way. They're only similar in the fact that they're in the same latitude of the planet that we live on. I wanted to get a Norwegian flag for Neo, and I was wondering whether there was a way during this trip to get one. I was toying with the idea of leaving Ashen Marie's and then potentially going via Norway, but I think it would have put quite a lot more miles on. I don't know. It's still up for debate. Only thing is, I've got a small window, well, a week to get back basically. So if I was to do it, it literally would be a flying visit. But it is a country that I've always wanted to go and see. The weirdest thing here, listen to this. Here's a story. Buckle up. When I toured Finland back in end of 91, 92, I think it was. Yeah, I toured the whole of Finland. I was there for about 4 months or so, and went to pretty much every city, every major town, from south to north. And the furthest north I got in Finland was a small little town called Utsjoki. It's like, I think it's the furthest northern town or village or whatever in Finland. And when you get to it, you're driving along this road, there's a river that runs along the left hand side as you're driving north. The other side of that river is Norway. So I've seen Norway, I've just never stepped foot on Norway. And we couldn't at the time because our passports were in Helsinki at one of the consulates. We didn't have passports with us, so we weren't able to cross the border just for the short while to go into Norway and then go up and actually see the very, what is it, whatever Arctic sea that is, I presume it is, isn't it? But it was the furthest northern sea, and being able to see that coast, we weren't able to do that, unfortunately. So I've seen Norway, never touched soil of Norway. So I'd like to do it. And seeing that trip that Ash and CJ have done this last year, yeah, it just looks quite special. I'd love to do it one day. Anyway, enough of me rabbiting. Look at this beautiful sunshine, gorgeous countryside. Look at that, and there's some Swedish miracles out there. Hello. Wait, oh hello. Look at that. Oh, how exciting. A couple of planes on pedestals. How exciting. Yeah, so I've seen my first reindeer at whatever that place is where those aircraft are. I saw 3 what looked like does in the middle of a field, and then I saw quite white as well, almost like an albino male on the edge of the forest. So I don't know, is that, what, do I just turn around and go back now because I've seen it? I don't know. Still a long way to go, but yeah, finally got to see some Swedish deer. How nice. Lots of blue sky. 200k from Stockholm. Oh, we're going to keep you on. I can see some more aeroplanes on pedestals up ahead. This is interesting. This is interesting. I've not seen any signs for a museum or anything like that. I can't see any airfield. Curious. Answers on a postcard, I guess. Don't know what that's all about. Very interesting. Hey, I don't know whether you saw that. I'll see if I can freeze frame it. But those were Swedish men. They were like, I guess they were like Vikings, because they were like rowing what looked like an old rowing boat with a mast and everything. So yeah, something akin to like a Viking vessel. So they were probably genuine Vikings. It's pretty good. Never expected to see. I know. Here's a clue. So this place is called Linköping, and I saw a sign for Saab. And I see another aircraft up ahead. Now Saab obviously make cars, but also Saab make planes. So I'm wondering whether this might be the Saab factory where they make the planes. It was the Saab Gripen, I think is what the Swedish Air Force flies now, isn't it? Something like that. And I think they did make even like a propellered passenger turbojet or something like that. In fact, here's the very thing. God, me and my aviation. Look at that. There's the very jobby. Look. I've not been on one of those. I don't think there's many flying now. But maybe that's why they're all the planes, because that's the Saab factory. I'll find out for you, and then when this all eventually airs, etc., I might throw in some details, throw in some pictures, some Google Earth images, whatever, trying to make it a bit more interesting for you. I mean, you're probably thinking, fucking hell, it's like watching paint dry, watching one of your videos, Rob. You do not ram it on. Never get to the point. Well, I do, I get to the point eventually. It's just that I like to go around the houses. I get very distracted, you see. When I'm having a conversation, it's like, now look, see, and suddenly things come to mind, and then I just go off on a tangent. I must have ADHD or something, I really don't know. I get distracted very quickly, and then I'll look it around, and then I'll go off topic. But then I'll come back on topic, about 5 hours later. Well, a lovely drive. Oh, I'm really enjoying this. A pleasant Sunday drive in the Swedish countryside. Oh, look, there's some trees over there. Oh, another one there. just caught those. I switched the camera off and then I saw them. So those were the Saab Gripens, I think, that I was talking about, the Swedish Air Force. I'm definitely going to look this up when I get to my destination, and then I'm going to embellish you with all sorts of pictures and interesting things about Saab and what they manufacture, and show you loads of pictures of aeroplanes and stuff like that, because that'd be nice, wouldn't it? It's, you know, this journey is about, it's about discovering things, it's about learning, it's about teaching oneself new things, and you know, how can one go through life without learning? Every day is a school day, as they say. And oh, I do like a new fact. And I'm full of useless facts, that's got to be fair to say. But then, you know, one day might come around and, you know, you might be privileged or unfortunate enough, whichever way you look at it, to be in my company, and then suddenly someone says, hey, what was the name of the fighter jet that the Swedish Air Force flew? And if you can tell us the answer, you all get a free pint and a meal in this restaurant. And then yours truly comes up and goes blah blah blah, and you'll all be like, fucking hell mate, where did you get such useless information? But at the end of the day, comes up top trumps. That's what I'm all about. Useless facts that may one day get you out of a situation. And if they don't get you out of a situation, what my useless facts will most definitely do is bore someone to death. So there's a thing, maybe I should do that. If there's anyone you know out there, someone that you don't like, or someone that you want to torture very slowly, and you think, how the hell can I get my own back on? This could be like a husband, a boyfriend, girlfriend, you name it, someone that is really bugging you and you just want to inflict a slow and torturous death on them. Give me a call and I'll come round and then I'll just sit and talk to them for hours, days on end about useless facts that I know that will most definitely bore them to death. Okay, there'll be good rates, your mates rates, stuff like that. If you're a subscriber, you'll definitely get a good rate. If you're not subscribed, then why the fuck not subscribe right now, you know, hit the bell, all the things, do all of that, and then drop me a, and I'll come round and I'll bore your partner to death. Willies. We are 33 miles away from our destination. We are, I guess we're kind of south of Stockholm, so we're kind of navigating our way through the hold on. Navigating our way through the suburbs. Where I'm staying tonight is Stockholm, Arlanda, which is the main international airport. which is quite a way north of Stockholm itself, which puts me in good stead for getting to Ashenmarie's tomorrow, because I'm the correct side of Stockholm, so I don't have to navigate through any of this, and can just get myself on the way. Now, I've done a cheeky thing. So I just did a little stop back there about half an hour ago, and stopped in a sort of like an American diner type place and got a bit of lunch. And I thought, do you know what? Just out of interest, I'm just going to set this sat nav, my Maps Me one, to the destination, so to the village that Ashenmarie live at. And from where I am now, bearing in mind that I'm going, at the moment this is set up to go via Arlanda Airport, it's 372 miles to get to Ashenmarie's. So minus what? 30 miles. Yeah, it's going to be about tomorrow a 340 mile journey, which is on par with what I've done today, to be honest with you. Probably it's another 60 miles on top of what I've done today. The road's probably going to be a little bit different, mate. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether it's motorway all the way up to Sundsvall or not. I don't know. But that's the next big place. So, you know, I've been going big signs to Malmo, from Malmo to Helsingborg for the last couple of days, Stockholm. The next stuff is Sundsvall, and it's now showing, actually, look, I'll show you here on this motorway sign there, you can see a Sundsvall, and that's where we shall be heading tomorrow morning. So this is all good news, you know, this is all, everything is all tickety-boo, as they say. Yeah, classic city. Lots of apartment buildings. I say I have been to Stockholm before, many years ago. Spent about, I think I was here for about 2 weeks, you know. We were waiting for our visas so that we could go across to Finland. So we stayed quite close to the centre. If I remember right, we were staying in an apartment with a colleague, and from her apartment window you could see, I don't know what it's called, is it called the Stockholm, the Globe? It's basically a large indoor arena that's like a great big fucking golf ball. It's massive. I think it had only not long been built, and that's where we stayed, in an apartment building really close to it, so not far from the centre. I think I can't remember if we got an underground or a bus or what. Yeah, this is going back some years now. It's quite. I remember going into Stockholm a couple of times and looking around. It's very beautiful. I seem to remember the oldie worldy part of it was very beautiful. We went to see the Vasa Museum, which is basically Sweden's version of the Mary Rose. So a very large medieval ship which had sunk in the harbour, which they took out and they put in a museum and everything, and that was pretty spectacular. I seem to remember that being very, very good. I also do remember that Stockholm isn't the kind of place that you want to stay if you don't really have any money to your name. I didn't have a penny, and yeah, it's quite expensive, and so yeah, hence I didn't really do a lot. It was always just walking, and yeah, it certainly wasn't going out for meals or getting a nice beer somewhere or anything like that. No, everything was done on the budget. Okay, so yeah, I think it was a good call to do this bit now because it's busy, but it's not crazy. At least everything's moving and stuff. But it is a Sunday. You know, it may be a different kettle of fish on a weekday. So I think, in a way, doing this and choosing to stay where I'm going to stay may have been a very good call, because it means I don't have to do any of this tomorrow morning at all, and hopefully should be able to get straight onto the motorway from the airport. But yeah, more water over there. I remember, it had a lot of water, lots of lakes and inlets and all sorts of stuff like that. There it is, the sign, Arlanda. Whoop-de-whoop. Oh, that was quite exciting driving through Stockholm there. Over bridges and through tunnels and there's quite a lot going on there. Over here, take your time, just sitting here. We're in no rush. It's bizarre when you think about it. Like, say, when I came here back in 91, I think it was, end of 91 to 92. This was like, I wasn't driving at the time. We had a Ford Transit van, and the group leader, a guy called John, he was a driver, a guy from Texas, and Teresa, she was from Nebraska, I think, and then there was myself, so it was just the three of us. John and Teresa drove, I didn't drive at the time. And back then, there were no sat-navs, there were no smartphones. I think my phone, did I have a phone? I don't even know if I had a mobile phone. Do you know, I'd like to probably say that I did not have a mobile phone. So yeah, definitely no phone. So all of the driving back then was all done via maps. I remember we used to, in those units, the theatre company I was working with, whatever unit you were on, there was always like a big box just full of maps, road maps, all sorts of different kinds of maps, and then maps of the cities and everything like that. And all of this would literally have been navigating through maps and signs. Now, you know, you're just following the blue line. But even then, that sometimes can be quite fucking difficult. I mean, I've lost count the amount of times I've got fucking lost even with sat-navs. Yeah, beggars belief sometimes. So how the hell we did it back then? I suppose in a way, maybe back then it was easier because you did have someone properly navigating, so that was all their job. So whoever sat, sometimes would have a seat in the back depending how the van was configured, because all the vans were configured slightly different. They're all transits back then, and you would have if you were sat there on the left, or sometimes it was a two-seater, there was always someone's job specifically to navigate. It used to be me quite a lot, because I obviously wasn't a driver, and I quite like map reading and stuff and navigating. I suppose if you then have someone that's dedicated, that's all they're doing, they're planning the route. So they're just giving out names, roads, etc. And as the driver, all you got to do is just concentrate on driving. So in a way, you were like a sat nav. The difference was that you were having to fucking do all the working out and what have not as you went along, which wasn't necessarily easy. But yes, my memories of Stockholm were somewhat vague, but I do remember it. I do remember Vasa. I do remember the downtown, the old part, and going over lots of bridges, there were trams, etc., and it being very beautiful. But most certainly not a place to be if you didn't have a penny to your name, which at that time I didn't have a penny at all. We used to get paid if we'd done well as a company, and after all the expenses and paying for fuel and etc., each one of us would make a wage. But back then you'd be lucky if you were making, I don't know, anywhere between, I don't know, 50 to 150 Deutschmarks a month. And that's right, it was Deutschmarks, there were no euros back then. That is well nice. I do appreciate a nice bit of architecture, not gonna lie. But yeah, my memory of it, as vague as it was a beautiful place, Stockholm, and yeah, we're in a very unique setting with all those lakes and inlets and everything like that. And then we, yeah, once our 2 weeks were over and we got our visas back from the Finnish embassy, we were able to then book our ferry. So we left Stockholm as a port somewhere not far from the city, and we got the ferry across to, I think it was called Tampere in Finland. It was quite a long crossing because you have to go through loads of inlets around thousands of islands. That side of Sweden, between Sweden and Finland, there are just thousands of islands. And it was a really cool crossing, I seem to remember. Anyway, catch you later. That, people, is my home for tonight. Look at it. It's so battered and so, yes, amazing.